wild. Shout out to Proactive. But damn.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I literally cannot. That is such a Cairo thing to say.
We in, baby. We in. I had to hook the background up, baby. Had to hook it up. Had my little sunny son in the background. Let him know, because he's a star because his daddy is a star. So, my little peaceful warrior. My little peaceful warrior. He was on an episode last week, which is pretty cool, which you motherfuckers missed, but it's all good because y'all here now. Yay! How y'all doing? How y'all motherfucking doing?
Blessed, can't complain.
You did make it. You did make it 3 hours in. I appreciate that. How you doing, Cairo? You looking angry over there? Who you texting over there?
Who is Eddie?
Nobody. I'm trying to figure out what this extra sound was that I was hearing. Now it sounds silent. Anyway, no, I'm fine. I'm big chilling. Watched a movie last night with my man Matt, who we had on my episode a couple times ago. Godzilla versus King Kong. Highly recommend it. Only if you're under the influence, though. Otherwise, don't waste your time. Chilling with this girl. Things are going great. Happy to see where it goes. And that's all I'm gonna tell you about it. Wow, that was really juicy. Why did all that?
What about you, First Lady? How was your weekend?
I'm just like,
hold up. Before we go any further, Cairo knew I caught it last second. Did you see the little juice from the fruit drip off onto Cairo's arm? Did you see that shit?
No, I didn't.
I literally made
he's too busy trying to eat.
I made a point about it.
He's too busy trying to look pretty. He's too busy trying to look pretty. He's trying to eat pretty. This nigga's a pretty nigga. Like, what the fuck? He trying to eat pretty, dripping mandarin juices on him and shit.
Oh gosh, not the way you fit.
Mandarin juice. But go ahead, Imani. Your weekend. How was it? She's ready to tell her weekend. She's like, look, niggas, y'all gonna listen to me and my weekend. Hey, motherfuckers.
I don't even want to talk about it no more. I don't want to talk about it no more.
Long weekend.
Forget about it.
No, I'm going to talk about it. Well, fine, we don't talk about it then. No, for real. My bad.
I ain't do nothing exciting, so it's cool. I ain't do nothing exciting. How was your weekend, JT?
It was cool. My birthday was in the middle of the week. So what is considered the birthday weekend? The weekend before or the weekend after? Because my birthday was Tuesday and, so I don't know. When?
Both.
The whole month.
Yeah, you just take up the whole, take up both those weekends.
Yeah.
Nobody got as much time to be trying to celebrate a whole damn month. I'm not that important. But yeah.
I'm going to go on vacation for my birthday. And it's during the first weekend of August. So like my birthday is going to count for that weekend. And then also when I come back, because I know I won't be able to see everybody when I'm on vacation, obviously. So we're going to count it for both. And then I just get to be a Leo the rest of the month.
You taking wifey on vacation?
Cannot speak to that, sir. We don't know yet. We'll see what happens.
Cairo is such a sly devil. See, you are, man. I'm sitting there like Cairo's such a sly devil.
I feel like I'm just very protective of my information. You know what I'm saying? It comes off as a sly devil thing, but nah, I just don't like putting everything out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Thank you for tapping into the Authentic Podcast, Intriguing Nerds. I'm your host, JT, here with my main man, Cairo Spencer.
Hey, what's up, man? We chilling, relaxing. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Well, restart this whole thing, bro. Restart the intro, because your intro came out of nowhere, and I was like,
When do my intro not come out of nowhere, though? It always comes out of nowhere. Thank you for tapping into the Authentic Podcast.
Oh, God.
Tapping into the Authentic Podcast. I'm your host, JT. That's how you do it. That was it.
No. Hey, X is the only person that can get grown-ass men to bark.
Yeah,
X is the only person that can get grown-ass men to bark and be secure with themselves.
Right. I won't be barking.
Remember,
I won't do all that.
Oh, see, you were young. You so young. I don't even think you was alive when DMX came out. Yo, young ass.
I was definitely alive when he was out. Like I know the song,
JT got on his pages today.
but what I will say is though, while like DMX wasn't someone like routinely in my playlist, nor was he like my favorite. Like, you know, obviously I recognize the legend that he was and the music he did put out. I've been enjoying watching more of the videos come out of his interviews and just learning more about his philosophy as a person. My favorite one was him talking about that new album he was supposed to have coming out. I'm sure it'll still drop. Apparently Pop Smoke is on it, and y'all know Pop Smoke was like my favorite person. So I'm very excited.
Yeah. One of my favorite. Sorry, Kara. I was watching on Def Comedy Jam. I think he did a poem called The Industry. You saw that? Yeah. I remember my mom, she used to have back in the day when CDs was really a thing. And my mom had a CD, his DMX, one of his CDs, and she would just play it over and over and over again. And, you know, she loved DMX, and he's just, you know, I loved how he always had something including Jesus and spirituality in every single album, you know, because not a lot of rappers did that. He did that before Kanye West came out talking about Jesus walks and all this stuff. So I really commend him for always staying close to his spirituality and for being very honest and transparent about his struggle with substance abuse and everything. Even when you hear him talk, he sounds just like his music. He was so authentic. And I think that's what stands out and makes everyone love him even more.
I was listening and it was like, damn, he really just be yelling even when he's talking. Like,
right. Yeah, I was watching this interview when he met Nipsey Hussle, and he was like giving Nip and his crew advice, whatever. And DMX was sounding like just like his record. I was like, he really talks like that.
Like this.
Yeah. And then he do the like, you know what I mean? I thought that was dope though. Because not a lot of artists are like the image that they portray. They're completely different. And so he's like one of those few that are actually like who he portrays himself to be. He is himself.
Right.
So he is Earl Simmons.
I'm thankful.
Go ahead, JT.
Carl, you gonna say something, weren't you? Go ahead.
No, I was finished.
Go ahead. What you gonna say? What you gonna say, sir?
JT's on a tangent today, y'all. Let me tell you, JT been cutting me off all morning. But it's good. Go ahead, JT. It's cool. Listen.
All morning, we've only been talking for 10 minutes. What you talking about?
All afternoon. You know what I meant.
Like, I didn't know what you mean.
Luck, y'all. Trying his luck.
Damn, somebody's feeling. So you had a good weekend. She is. You take my energy.
Yes, because I got my nails and stuff done. That's why. So, anyways, I'm listening.
I know a black-owned nail tech, and she's dope too. If you're looking, you know, hook you up.
Yeah, please do. As long as her prices ain't crazy.
All right.
Doing too much. Okay, but anyways, your weekend was.
My weekend didn't matter. It's been somber. I went to rest in peace, DMX, Earl Simmons. You know. And it was cool you was talking about the story because it was like, I'm thankful that, because there's been a lot of fucking deaths, even the celebrities and rappers and stuff, but a lot of rappers that died though, I don't really know them. I don't know all these young rappers. Like, I listened to some Pop Smokes. I didn't know King Von or Mo. So I can't really connect to those deaths like that, you know. But, you know, X death hits different because one, you know, it's someone you grew up with and it was someone you actually appreciated. Like X was always in my top 15 of favorite rappers, you know, like shoot. One of our episodes last season, I remember when they had the verses, I had X's one of his songs that was our intro song, you know. And it was just cool because it was like X represented that struggle, man. Like and you know, especially like what he like Slippin' was one of those songs, especially when I was like depressed. I was a depressed child. So I was the song that just like, you know, you could always throw on when you at your low moments and just be like, I'm gonna get through this shit.
That was the song that looked like they were posting on their Insta story.
You know, like you were saying, Imani, his authenticness.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Rough Riders anthem went #1 on iTunes. And of course,
You
every
said
time someone passes Rough Riders Anthem, the song, it went number one. It's number one on iTunes and different streaming platforms. And of course, every time someone dies, their music and everything, just pretty much everybody wants to buy it, and so there are always at least a few artists that come out and says, hey, why don't y'all start giving us flowers when we're here? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it's like certain artists are going to be more.
X, I think, was one that got it better.
I'm saying certain artists are going to be more relevant than others, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, a younger artist their music is going to be more popping than DMX is at that moment. Obviously, when someone like DMX passes, everyone's taking the time to go back and re-listen to these songs more often. So yeah, it's like you can't obviously people even when he was alive, people still had respect for him. It's not like they weren't respecting him.
Absolutely.
It's not like people still weren't listening to his music. They just weren't banging it all day because the man just passed away.
Exactly. Yeah, and he's been doing it.
Yeah, you can't assume that just because someone decided to listen to their DMX's whole album one day, that they weren't listening to it a week ago.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. And you
don't want to fake detractors, though.
You said what, JT?
Go ahead, Monty. No, go ahead. Monty talking is always good. Good for you.
Go ahead, Imani. Just go ahead. Go ahead. You over here trying to.
Everybody comes to listen to you. They don't care about us.
Anyway.
Do not care about us.
I'm gonna throw my pillow at the phone. I swear to the. Sorry, it's around.
Hey, just don't knock the shit over. Don't knock the shit over and knock it.
I know this ring light is too beautiful to mess up, and it was a good price too. Anyways, what I was saying was that with DMX, he's still been very much so relevant, and I think Cairo, you made a great point. You know what I mean? And so, he's been doing documentaries. BET even had a special on him. He was supposed to do some type of an appearance next month. And he just did one on All-Star Weekend too. So
he had about 3 different performances coming up in May alone.
Exactly.
And then
you said in an album? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. But yeah, well, rest in peace to him. Again, his music was just very beautiful. And it definitely touched a lot of people's hearts.
I don't believe none of the shit they saying that happened to him. My conspiracy theorist says something happened. I just don't. I mean, the man was getting it together now. Now he just had a. I don't think he was on no shit, man. Come on, we don't know people's lives.
The last time he was in
we don't know
2019. So and I was watching an interview. He had said that he was having those thoughts again about about being worried about going back to it. So I feel like this is less of one of those conspiracy theory moments. We're talking about a man who literally had issues with substance abuse.
But this is what gets me. Go ahead, Monty.
I don't know. I'm always kind of impartial to conspiracies because, of course, the first thing that goes through my mind is a lot of the times conspiracies are led or based upon things that the artists are known for struggling with. Right. Mm-hmm. So when people say, hey, this death was set up, for example, Tupac shot, Whitney Houston, drugs, Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? Even with
don't forget Amy Winehouse too. Don't forget Amy Winehouse. They tried to say drugs on her too.
Deaths, not white deaths, but deaths of people from other ethnicities. It's always based on something that artist was struggling with. And so that's why people are kind of saying hey, we think this was a setup. And then there was this whole thing about 4321, that was a song. And, so of course my mind kind of goes to that first, but if it actually genuinely was from a drug overdose, that's even more so heart breaking because he's been so open about his struggle. And he even talked about a mentor of his lacing a blunt with crack when he was 13. So very heartbreaking, but I think the important thing is his voice has been very much so powerful. It's still is through his music and his movies. Belly, you know, Romeo Must Die. Rest in peace to Aaliyah, the beautiful, gorgeous Aaliyah. And so, you know, he's still, his life still carries on. So I think it's our jobs to just listen to everything he was trying to say and keep his legacy going.
Yeah, I would less, like just forget all the conspiracy theories, forget how it
Yeah,
happened. At the end
I
of the day,
try. I
it's
try.
gone. Shame.
I
So I
try.
just would rather just celebrate his legacy, his music, and
Yeah,
his person than trying to figure out how it all went wrong. Just
absolutely. Absolutely.
I agree.
Agreed.
It makes you, especially as a father, because he's a father of 17 kids. I'm a father of one.
that's
It makes you
wild.
reflect on like life. It makes you reflect on life because it's like it's always, you ever see like in a movies, or you might see it even in real life. You might see a friend or someone who really maybe had a messed up life, finally was getting it together, finally doing this, doing that. He's like, oh, got a car, got this going, and then all of a sudden, someone like some hater from the past has some hate for them and just takes their life. And it's always like, wow, he was just getting it together. He was just getting it together. And I'm not gonna lie, we see with the Authentic Podcast, Intriguing Nerds, by the way. But if you want to be authentic, I think about that all the time. I think about my life all the time because I always was like, I kept wondering why it took me so long to have a son. I was like, what if it ain't meant for me to have a son until it's about my time to go? Because I'm like, because I was like, I have my child, and I leave my one legacy in the world. So that could be, and then God could be like, you know what, your time is done now. But I feel like I got so much purpose, I got so much more message. Like I can't go now, and but I think about it all the time. I think about like the thoughts that go through my head when you're a dad. I think about just like somebody just wanted to just pop me for whatever reason. Something like you hear about these car people getting killed. People chasing them down on the freeways and killing them. Why people watching? Like, man, you want to kill a person that bad in broad daylight? It's like, and you free moments like that, and man, anything can happen. It's like I can think the painful thought of knowing that you got kids that should leave it behind. It's probably painful.
Yeah, and life is so short. Yeah, I was gonna say life is so short. As he was on life support, I just kept thinking of my father, and I remember seeing all these different posts about, oh, rest in peace, Max, before he even passed or before they announced that he passed. And I remember commenting on a post on Facebook, because I'm back on Facebook, not Instagram yet, but I remember commenting on a post, and I was just like, you know what? Always give people a chance to try to survive before you say that they're dead. You know what I mean? Because, and like I said, this hit home for me because my dad just passed last year, but 3 years ago, he was actually on life support. And they say he had 24 hours to live. Doctors were like, oh, he's brain dead. His organs failed. He won't live past today. Blah, blah, blah. Took him off life support. And I was like, okay, where's your proof of this? Where's your proof of that? And long story short, not going to go into the healthcare system, but my point is saying that is my dad came out of that. And he lived another 3 years. You know what I mean? So I was just going to say, like, I think it's always important to give people a chance when they're fighting life support. And yes, absolutely, JT, life is short. And I think sometimes we all have that fear of passing, especially when we have kids. I don't know that feeling yet because I'm not a mother just yet, but I'm sure it's even more strong when you're.
If you don't mind, ask, because you just mentioned it. If you don't mind, kind of touch situation. You said your dad 24 hours lived and he ended up living 3 years. What was it that? How did that happen? How did it just went from 24 hours to like, oh, he's good now?
Yeah. So what happened with Daddy-O is Daddy-O, he's been on dialysis since I was born. Since before I was born, actually. And one day he was cut by a rusted gate on his leg. And this is the one time he did not use peroxide to clean his wound. So it got infected. And that led to a staph infection. And the infection spread so rapidly through his right leg that they literally like kept going through surgeries and digging out infected tissue to the point where it got so far up, they was like, you know what? If it goes past this part of his body, it's going to go into his middle in his chest area, and it's going to infect all his organs. So we're just going to have to cut his leg off. And because his heart was so weak and everything, they were saying that he just didn't have the strength. Like his heart was too weak to do any surgeries, and therefore the infection was going to have to take over because they couldn't put him through surgery. You know what I mean? And so we just pray, and it was funny. And God is amazing, because I remember all of my family. I flew to DC immediately. I was his power of attorney. I was the one that had to make the decisions for every surgery, every medical decision, everything. And as soon as I got to DC, I looked at him and I said, "Oh, he'll be okay." And the doctors was like, "Okay, you ready to take him off life support?" I was like, "No, absolutely not." And you know, the crazy thing is he was just medically sedated the whole time. And I'm just, okay, so he's sedated. So how do we know that he doesn't have brain function if he's sedated? And so he didn't wiggle his toes, but he's sedated. You know what I mean? So basically what happened is God came through, his heart got strong, and he was able to go through surgeries, and I give that completely to God.
I'm glad I asked that story. I didn't know if you was going to be deep enough to talk about it. But that's dope to hear.
I'm completely open talking about Daddy anytime. It hurts, but I love to tell his story.
Yay, money.
Daddy girls.
You think that's part of your inspiration why you got into healthcare, or you was already inspired to get in this field to begin with?
No, that was my inspiration to get into healthcare. Honestly, when Daddy-O passed, I was in the hospital with him for months. Like literally sleeping in his ICU room, sleeping in the family room, going from ICU to the regular room to rehab with him. And I was just on it, making sure no one was hurting him. I even banned certain nurses from being in his room if they had bad energy or did something wrong to him. I was like, "Oh, this nurse can't be in here." To the point where the hospital wanted me on the board for families, to advocate for families. Anyways, after he passed, when he got sick, I lost a lot of stuff in LA. You know what I mean? So I had to start back from scratch. And that's what led me to the medical field after that. And now I'm still in it, and I just do Hollywood stuff on the side.
That was very beautiful, Imani.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
So rest in peace to Daddy-O, rest in peace to DMX.
Yeah, yes. It's cool to have our little, because we talk our shit and all that stuff, and we have different opinions, but it's always cool to have our heartfelt moments, especially in moments like these and stuff like that. I guess we could change it up a little bit.
Yes.
Thank you for tapping into the authentic podcast, Intriguing Nerds. I'm your host, JT, here with the man, Cairo Spencer.
No, it is. We chilling, maxing, relaxing. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Wannabe Tupac right here. And then we got the first lady, Miss Lola Clappers herself, Imani Fe.
Hilarious. Ooh, I'm gonna raise the roof today, y'all. Big corny.
Hey,
Say no. Thank you for tapping in with us.
I don't want to be Tupac, but I'm actually.
Hey, we nerds. Let's go. Intriguing nerds, baby. Let them know. We raise the roof. Fuck it.
I'm actually.
Who cares?
Yes. Ain't nothing wrong
but
with
like I said, Money get away with that though. Like we should get away with being a nerd. I know. Monty could bring back and raise the roof. That if Monty went to a party and Monty stopped raising the roof, niggas are gonna start raising the roof. I'm telling you. The whole part. If Monty started raising the roof, niggas at the party, they look at you. They be like, "Is she raising the roof? I don't know, but you see how she look? Hey, raise the roof. We raising the roof in this motherfucker."
Honestly, I did not know that went out of style until I raised the roof at work, and they was like, "Did you just raise the roof?" And now they do it sometimes when they're joking.
My point is, that's at work. Go to a club. Funny. Oh shit, it's a wrap.
That is hilarious.
You can throw on some Drake. Throw on some Drake. Nice for what? You be like, nice for what? For these niggas. Everybody go.
Period. Anyway.
Speaking of nice for what and things like that, we're kind of probably a week late on it, but it still seems like it's drama from it. Did we talk about the Quavo Saweetie shit last week?
I think we mentioned it. We didn't talk about the video that came out of them in the elevator.
These elevator brawls, I tell you.
I didn't really. I saw them in the elevator. Like
that shit got Ray Rice out of the league.
Yeah, it looked more like they were already going at it before they got in there, and people were like, "Oh, well, Quavo threw her," and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were both fighting each other, but regardless, you just got to walk away from the situation. But
what's crazy? Like,
I did hear, however,
I brought it up. I didn't even see the video. I saw like the first 20 seconds. I was like, I don't want to watch this. When stuff like that, I'd be kind of like, but I kind of did want to watch it because I wanted to have some content to talk about. But I've heard everything about it, so it's like, But I just wanted to hear the backlash from people, like niggas defending him. I can't really make my judgment because I didn't see the video. But I want to really.
There wasn't much convo about it. I think people talked about it for maybe a day or two, and then it was kind of like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, people got over it pretty fast. And they're saying they think Saweetie's team released it, but it's always something, Yeah. I don't want to sound toxic, but okay, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without sounding very toxic, because I feel like with their elevator fight, first of all, domestic violence is never okay, whether it's no matter which way it goes. But I just feel like a lot of
let's get a disclaimer out the way now.
That disclaimer in there, throw that in there. But I feel like a lot more than a few relationships, when the argument gets kind of heated, the man is trying to leave. I don't know if this is what happened with them. Another disclaimer. But man is trying to leave. It's like, you ain't going nowhere. Give me this bag. Oh no, you ain't trying to answer me. Give me this bag. And he's like, nah, I'm leaving. And then she, and then it's a little. I feel like that happens. And again, I'm not trying to sound toxic, but I'm just saying.
We be trying to leave, and then y'all want to sit, and then what happens is.
No, y'all be doing it too, though, Cairo. Y'all be you ain't going nowhere.
We've seen enough videos where there's an argument happening. Man tries to leave or tries to back up. Woman's like, "Oh, you're not gonna hit me, so I'm gonna keep on yelling at you. I'm gonna keep on getting in your face. I'm now going to start hitting you." And now it's the point of the niggas like, look.
I can't even deny that. I can't. But dudes be toxic too. And you know what? One time Cardi, I think it was in her Up song, she was like, dudes, or she said the N-word, love a toxic B. I think that's I don't think everybody in a healthy way likes toxic stuff, but I think a little, dash.
Someone showed her birth. See these guys? This is the makeup for someone that gets involved in domestic violence. I was like, no.
Did y'all look at the timeline? Did y'all look at the outline? Because what y'all saying is exactly what I have on this thing about when y'all talking about the relationships and stuff. Because I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. They look at this. I just sent it to them. I'm sitting there because the reason I brought this up is not because the video, none of that shit. I brought this up more on the fact that seems to be today's role model type of dating. That seems to be what people think that is what's defined as love. At least, especially for the baddies. Baddies, they feel you've seen videos, girls be like, I need to be smacked up or choked, or they gotta feel these type of loud, dramatic, chaotic moments, and they feel like that is love. They feel like that is a way of love right there. We at each other's throat, at each other in the elevator or whatever and shit like that. That is people's way of seem like these days that's love. Because sometimes people can get out of relationships because it's too good. It's like, all right, where's the spark? And it's like, well, spark you can create, motherfucker. It's just you want spark. What kind? You want spark? You want drama? And it's like,
why it's like that, man. A little something called reality TV.
You said what?
It's a little something.
Yes, the music.
I think reality TV, us seeing these famous people, basketball wives, even the Jersey Shore, all they do is spend their time having a bunch of drama, yelling about their significant others, and then, throwing parties, doing that thing. I think if our generation has soaked all of that up, that they assume that that's kind of how they have to interact in their life. So, and most of the time it's a subconscious thing. Take my cousin, for instance. She loves that stuff. Yada, yada, yada. Has a random argument later and finds herself just blowing up. And I'm like, yo, why are you acting like the people you watch on TV? You gotta bring that down. It could be a very small situation.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious. She tried to tell me all the time. She's like, it's not because of reality TV. There's a good show. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how much what you.
I agree. I agree.
And that's why I credit my mom, because she used to always get on me about what I was watching when I was younger, making sure I wasn't watching even like horror trailers and movies with sex and just all these different kinds of things. And when I think back on it, I'm like, yeah, that stuff might have messed me up if I was looking at it too much. But reality TV just, I can't.
That's facts. And you know what's funny, Cairo?
When you say that, you get. Go ahead.
How do you cut her off every time?
Every time.
I know. Because you go at the same time. I'll be like, shit.
Go ahead, JT.
I always let her go, though. I always let her go, though.
Go ahead, JT.
No.
Go ahead, JT.
My comment don't matter. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, mine was a tangent.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. This is a tangent only because when I was in high school.
Take your tangent.
Yeah, when I was in high school, I used to watch Bad Girls Club a lot. And they always say, go out with a bang, right? And I found that during that time, I always wanted to go out with a bang. Like, I was like, wait a minute. Because you look like you're ready about to fight right now. I'm going to let this go. Shut up, Jason. I was like, you know what? I'm usually like, I'm going to let this go. But then I was like, you know what? No, I got to go out with a bang. I know you did not just like, and I was arguing more than. So, Cairo, I wanted to tap on, that's true. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, JT. And thank you for letting me go. You got the floor, sir.
No, see, this is why it's always good when you speak. I don't like motherfuckers don't care what I gotta say. I talk enough. They're like, wait, what she gotta say? But I'm like, yeah, I want to hear what she gotta say too. Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's why she's on the podcast. We want to hear what she gotta say.
Hilarious.
No,
Oh damn! I got something on my sweater.
What is going on? I'm so confused.
Y'all know if you put hand sanitizer on a spot, like it'll clean it up?
Actually, did not know that.
Yeah, no, I did it on set. It was crazy.
No,
anyway,
that's what I was gonna say. I had a little brain freeze right there.
Oh, I thought you were just waiting for me.
No, but I think it's a trigger too. I think because people so deeply rooted. Because I love my son's mother. She's cool, but she loves that shit. And and some of the stuff like we when we were dating and stuff, when we got into, it was like, wait a minute, what are we arguing about right now? And it just, and I'm in some of the arguments I'm listening, I'm like, that's some shit that I've seen them arguing on TV about. What the fuck? I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing about this. I'm not arguing about this. And it was just like, and it's like whenever you say that somebody really loves that stuff, they get on the defense. They're ready to fight you. They're like, yo, you're doing exactly what I was just talking about right now. Like you're like, look at, come back up. I just said that it's traumatic. And I even catch myself because I've tried to be, especially with me, I was like, I watched some episodes with her and stuff. I watched 3-4 episodes. I watched a whole season of Marriage Boot Camp. Hip hop stuff with Soulja Boy and stuff. I felt like I lost brain cells. It was entertaining as fuck. Oh, it was fucking entertaining. But I felt like dumb sometimes after. I was like, and I was just on the little I was watching. So if I can imagine you watching it. And it's funny because you mentioned Bad Girls Club. You sitting there, Bad Girls Club. I was like, I ain't never seen you punch your fist ever until you mentioned Bad Girls Club ever. Right. It's like you had flashbacks just now. I was like, wait a minute, I never seen you. This is you was. I was like, yo, she's. I was like, this is a different side of Imani right now.
It's real. It's real. Like I love reality shows. Like the stars themselves are cool, but the shows is toxic as F, and they want it to be that way.
Like, how does someone have that much drama in their life? Enough for a 10 to 13 episode season. Like, is your heart okay?
I mean, but would y'all ever do a reality show though, Cairo?
We talked about this when we had the ball on. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. And mostly, I think the only way I would ever be on a reality
on
show,
me, yeah.
Only if, like, let's say my career goes so, God forbid, my career takes some crazy turn where I have to do something in order to stay relevant. That might be the time that I go on a reality show. In which case, at that point, I'd be ready to be dramatic and extra. But like my personality, I hate all of that kind of stuff. So I don't see myself on one. It would have to be something really interesting Like I told you about the what was it? I think is it Temptation Island? One of the islands is about
Temptation Island.
one of the islands is about
Temptation
like
Island.
not being able to have sex with other people on the island. I think that one is like because that's a challenge. Like that is a legitimate game to play when you put a bunch of hot 20 somethings around. Like that is that's something I would watch. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reality show I actually watched the beginning and
I had a reality show I wanted to do. That only reality show I wanted to do at one point, other than ones that people offered to do but never followed through. But you know how they had For the Love of Ray J?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to join like For the Love of JT.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah.
Like Flavor of Love. Oh my gosh. I love Flavor of Love. New York.
Yeah. But at the time when I first had it, I was like 20. I was 24 at the time because at the time, but I went deeper with it. I came with a whole concept of myself, and it was like 24 women, but it was actually women in my life that I knew, like from friends to date, and it was just like I just had this vision of like where they were all there and stuff like that. So it was like I always create. So I was like that'd be a dope reality TV, like someone who had people that he actually know personally in the house, kind of win his heart. That some dope shit right there. Or even if the woman had like 20 guys that she knows, all trying to,
that is dope.
That she knows, not just people she just meeting at the house, like motherfuckers she actually know, motherfuckers from high school, probably somebody at her job, probably somebody she met at the mall once, someone she knows on Facebook.
Mm.
Yeah, and then she put them all together and stuff like that.
That's dope. So point that.
See, like, visionary, man. Just some creative shit. So
that. Yeah. I feel like I would want to be an inspirational
got hot topic.
No, the only thing I really want to talk about was the DMX thing, which we
inspirational one.
I do. Kid Cudi. Did y'all see Saturday Night Live?
I heard something about him wearing a dress, but I didn't watch that.
Yes, he wore a whole floral print dress in honor of Kurt Cobain.
Performance? Like, was he like the
in his whole performance? It was a spaghetti strap, a flower dress that like flared out at the bottom, and he was doing all this, it was in honor of Kurt Cobain.
What? Oh, okay. I mean, Jaden Smith did that shit already, so
yeah.
I don't know who Kurt Cobain is, but I guess that's the way to honor him.
You don't know who Kurt Cobain?
Well, I guess with Kurt Cobain, he did like
he honored him with a dress,
magazine shoot with a dress, huh?
Very admirable.
Yeah. But another thing is that I wanted to. Well, I guess I'll leave that one and I'll bring up other stuff later. But yeah, that was something that's kind of a big deal right now. Everyone's talking about it. Is Kid Cudi wearing a dress on Saturday Night Live, which is at this point,
why is that weird anymore, guys? We watch.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, everyone does it. So I mean,
Styles do it. We watch what's that?
I guess that he's a rapper. Usually, comedians are doing that, not rappers.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the Lil Nas X thing, which we never brought up on here. We have the Lil Nas X video and all that, which I don't really want to go into.
I really don't want to bring that energy into this shit.
Watched it. It looks so.
I'm not watching it.
No, absolutely not.
No. We can.
Anyways,
it was a bad idea, Nick X. It was a bad idea.
Yeah, and I know I keep bringing up Kevin Samuels, y'all, but
no, my man.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I keep watching his videos, and it's like at first I did not like him at all. I was like, he's an asshole. Excuse my language. And I was like, no. But the more I listen to him, I'm like, you know what? He reminds me of that a-hole uncle that tells it how it is, and you kind of appreciate that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Do y'all actually agree with his ranking system and stuff that he kind of talks about?
The ranking system?
Yeah, like when he's like, oh, rank yourself, and you know what I mean? And saying only certain women can get certain types of high value men.
I mean,
do you guys agree with that?
I mean, it's true to an extent. There will always be an outlier where some high profile man won't care about certain things. There's always that outlier, but I think at the end of the day,
exactly,
he's basically saying the truth.
Okay, all right now.
Yeah, he's only speaking in the majority. He's not speaking in all, like, even I've ever said things. I don't speak in everybody. Nobody's everything.
Exactly.
You know, there's anomalies, like you said, outliers, but for the majority, because and a lot of times because that's what they've been taught to do. You know, you got money, spend it, get the drugs or get the baddest girls and stuff, and then the girls are taught to it ain't bad, get that money.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
It is what it
so,
is.
but I guess he was telling about certain women need to have realistic expectations. But you might get a dude with some money who might not be to glamour, and I might see a single mother that he biased because she's just a good woman and take her under his wing, or not under his wing, but like wife her up or whatever and stuff like that. It happens. It happens. You know, it's not probably as common, and maybe it's not as promoted. So even if it is common, that's not what's being promoted. What's being promoted is Quavo, a motherfucking Saweetie in the elevator.
And social media, you know, I think just adds a complete different level to everything. You know what I mean? I think social media, you definitely got to have a certain type of mindset and know what you're on it for, or it will. I may sound real melodramatic. I may sound really dramatic when I say this, but it will swallow you up if you know, let social media, you know, do that, especially for like teenagers and stuff. You know? Yeah. So
I'm glad you bringing up the social media too. That was actually a tough one to bring up, actually, because social media could be traumatizing, like for sure, especially, you know, like, you know, not just in the internet bullying, but one thing that is traumatizing, and I don't know if Cairo can relate, but I've talked to other men about this, and they kind of they feel it too. The impact of being blocked. That shit is that's a low key traumatizing thing.
I mean,
it has an effect. You're like, damn, I was that bad that I ignored a block.
Did you learn your lesson?
So what?
I don't think I've ever.
I've blocked a couple people in my life.
As far as I know, I've never had my number blocked. I've been left on red before for saying something crazy, but I've never been straight up blocked.
Now that's the feeling I hate, being left on scene. Do not leave me on scene, or we got a whole problem and a half. Even if you my cousin, you better say something. Like my message.
You better like the message. You better just like the message. Let me know that I saw it.
Acknowledge it.
My friend Aaron told me. She said it's a lot of times it's like you could forget to respond and then you're about to respond and you realize it's been like 8 hours or it's been a day and you feel like it's too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. Just say something. Just say something. I might say, oh, wow, thanks for finally responding, but I'm going to appreciate you responding more than you just.
Better late than never, but never late is better. Sorry.
Oh, you know what's bad when you say something heartfelt and you see them replying back and saying they're typing and you waiting for the typing and then you wait for another 20 minutes, it still says typing. You're like, are you going to say something? No, you got me at the edge of my seat. I'm about to crash my car waiting for this message.
If they're taking a while to type, I'll exit out the app and go back and realize that they already stopped typing. Because sometimes it just shows that they're still typing, even though they're not going to say anything.
But you know what? Y'all can't talk because men are famous for, like us women, we will send a whole emotional paragraph. Oh, it's funny how this and that and that. Blah, 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 blah. Or we can be, you know, oh, I love you for this and that. And dudes will say, okay, or like 3 words out of like 3 paragraphs. And I'm just like,
I don't know.
So you saw this whole emotional novel and you decide to send a 3-word response? Really?
I mean,
you know what I
mean?
So y'all can't talk because guys are famous.
That goes both ways.
I can respond. I can give you a whole bunch of words, but I could also be very brief and just say 3.
Yeah. Y'all be like, I don't have the energy.
No, you just don't like being extra. If it's an argument situation, sometimes it's just not necessary to go back and forth for y'all. As my uncle, sometimes it's easier to just be wrong, even though you're right.
Yes, social media can be traumatizing for sure, man. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like, and you know, I don't have that much time in my life these days, but it could be times where I know I've had moments where you could be sitting there all day, you know, while you getting work done, sitting there trying to make a move and stuff like that. Before you know it, you're like, damn, I just spent 3-4 hours on this shit. Get off. Get off.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't been on today, which is cool. Like, but it hasn't been on my mind either, So, but it's like, sometimes, and before you know, you get sucked in. You be trying to initially go on to send an actual message, and then before you know, you end up sending other messages, reading stories, and then you spend 30 minutes to an hour. You're like, yo, what the fuck?
I was fully ready to spend a solid 2-3 hours on Instagram or whatever today, as opposed to being on this. I was fully prepared for it. I was like, well, I guess I'll be on this couch and I'll just be on my phone doing random shit.
And that's exactly why I've taken a break.
We got about 10 minutes maybe until I hop off of this. So.
Wait, what did you say, Cairo? You say you have 10 minutes left?
You got about 10 minutes. We got about 10. My hour. Yeah, I'm on a
2 hour. Gave a 20-minute advance. I'm joking.
I'm a 2-hour clock, man. 2-hour clock.
Wait, what time is it?
It's 3:40.
So, Cairo, what's your hot topic then, man? Because you've been over here quiet. You've been quiet. What you got on your mind, man? Come on, keep it authentic, brother.
I've been responding to everybody. I was very, responsive during the DMX and the social media stuff. I've been here, bruh. I have been here. But if we're talking about hot topics, I would like to talk about this vaccine thing going on, because I get it. It's very important for everybody to get ahead and get the vaccine, so that we can try to get some normality. But I'm trying to figure out why people keep posting it on social media. Like, why do y'all feel the need to be like, hey, I got my vaccine. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Like, I could just get
the vaccine. Treating it like an I voted sticker. That's actually a thing even on dating sites. On dating sites, they're like, oh, I'm vaccinated. Like, it's a thing.
I'm like, and what's your credit score? Like, I don't care, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like the.
I can't speak too much on that, but what were you saying?
Oh, right. Healthcare system.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact how society tries to outcast you and make you berate you when you don't follow what the media and what the news and the doctor says. It's like you didn't have a mask, or if you ain't getting vaccinated, people looking at you funny. Like, nigga, I don't got time for you looking at me funny, nigga. Don't get away from me then.
Yeah, it's
like,
hard.
I don't like that shit. People try to make you people try to shame you for not following the masses.
Yeah. Well, everyone I know who's been vaccinated, they're like huge advocates of it. You know what I mean? They're like, oh no, you should do it. It's fine. It's this and that. And I mean, eventually it's probably going to be mandatory anyway. You know what I mean? They're even talking about, like, when you fly domestic flights, you'll have to have your vaccination, and it's going to go on IDs and different things like that. That's what people are saying, of course. I think it is getting to that point.
Yeah, I know they're doing the vaccine passport. So, like, if you're flying from here to New York and you show them you have the vaccine, you don't have to do a 2-week quarantine and all that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, even in the press, they're like vaccinated households versus unvaccinated households. So they're making it a thing, a division thing. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely going to be more press than what it is now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not going to get pressed about it.
This is terrible. This is not good news for
I'm giving myself till July to be worried about it.
This is not good news.
What?
Yeah, I'm personally taking my time because because they said you have allergies and stuff. You should definitely wait, and especially like certain shots cause more dangerous than others. So just people just do your research. Don't let peer pressure get you. What did you say, Cairo?
It was someone that posted an article that, like, oh, you should check which vaccine you should get based off of your age and your race. I was like, hold on a minute. You telling me to get a different one based just because I'm black? Now that scares me even more.
Yeah, that's too much, because the Johnson & Johnson one, that's the one shot, but that has had the most complications.
Right, and they're saying
was it Pfizer? Pfizer. It's 2 shots, and it has less complications, but it's 2 shots. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. And then, like I said, just don't go into peer pressure, people, do your research, you know, really make sure you're ready because it's your body, not anyone else's at the end of the day. You know? So I understand why people are getting it to feel safer. But me as a young Black woman who plans to have kids, I personally want to take my time to make that decision.
Yeah, because we don't trust
And
these.
you in the nurse field doing saying this shit, so I'm gonna take your advice.
We don't trust these government hoes.
What's your hot topic,
Not
Imani?
government hoes.
These government hoes.
I said my two hot topics, JC.
Huh?
Yeah, but OnlyFans, y'all. OnlyFans.
Oh, the
JC,
only
whatever you want to
Oh,
say.
you saw me put that on there?
Huh?
No, no. As a I wanted to. I figured Cairo. I know where Cairo's going with this. I mean, Cairo was going with this, but because you know these women on OnlyFans is getting paid right now. So
that bad
like,
Barbie got paid.
Cairo, are you secure enough to?
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I said, are you secure enough to date someone who got an OnlyFans or like a sex worker?
Now, first of all, here's the issue with your question. Why'd you have to use the word secure? Why couldn't you just ask, would you date somebody who had this, and that? So let's.
Because I think a lot of men would date somebody who's doing it, but are they secure enough to date? There's a difference.
I'm gonna press you.
Really? A lot of men would?
No, but because here's the thing. You could ask just the question straight as it is, and it's becomes just a matter of opinion. Oh, well, I would or I wouldn't. But when you say the word, are you secure enough to do this, or that? Now you're not only questioning my opinion, but you're questioning my sense of self and my confidence. You're doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. But to answer your question, specific question, I'm just going to answer the question of like, would I date someone with an OnlyFans? I guess it kind of depends on what they're doing on OnlyFans. Because essentially
busting it open.
Huh? Busting it open?
Busting it open.
Yeah, because apparently OnlyFans.
Nah, probably not. Because I mean, not to say that everyone busting it open on OnlyFans is a hoe or doing that kind of thing, but more than likely, the type of girl that I like, that I go out with, and yada yada, she's not going to be the type to need an OnlyFans because she's got some other job that pays her. That's probably the one thing. She won't even need the OnlyFans. And it's two, is protective of herself to the point where she's not going to be posting crazy shit like that on an OnlyFans.
What's crazy to you?
Do you guys think that character goes a lot into it though? Like, can a woman have a certain level of? I guess I know the answer to this question, but do you think it kind of changes a woman's or devalues or lessens the value of a woman's character or something if she does have an OnlyFans? Like, can she be a respectable woman with morals and all of this and a high value woman and still have an OnlyFans account where she busts it open for whatever?
It shouldn't, because of the way the world works. It will. However, I think the only way to get around that by having both is if it becomes almost like a day and night type of thing, where it's like, okay, maybe she's a businesswoman by day or she's a teacher by day, da 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 da. And then at night, secretly, she's got some little OnlyFans where she, expresses herself sexually, makes a little bit of extra cash. Maybe she hides her face, right? Like if it's like a totally separate thing that she just kind of does on the side, then I guess in that retrospect, it could be more respectable.
Yeah. But if it's like a full-fledged thing, then
hey, do what you gonna do.
He's really thinking about it.
I might not be the one to date.
Society.
Do what you gonna do.
Yeah.
What's the society standards? She will maybe devalue. Now, a man who thinks for himself, probably not. It's all, because a lot of times people follow the narrative. It's like, because these same men are sitting here saying, "Oh, I would never wife for OnlyFans," or subscribe to the chick, hitting her up and shit in the OnlyFans. So it's like, what is it that you really want here? So that's why I'm specifically secure enough. Yeah, you could date a girl and stuff like that. It could be because you might be for sure. Hey, look, I got this fine chick. Oh, she got OnlyFans. Yeah, that kind of might make them look cool. They all. So it's like, it depends on what he's looking for out of that. They could already be in a relationship and they could be making the videos together. Or she might do her own thing, but she makes it tactful, to where, so, I said sex workers too, because I wasn't even thinking just OnlyFans. I was thinking like escorts and stuff like that.
Well, like I said,
I feel like a lot of men get with women, and she's sexy, she dances, or she has an OnlyFans. He's like, oh, I'm fine with it. And then as soon as the relationship goes on, he's like trying to make her stop doing the very stuff she was doing when they first met. You know what I mean? So I think, anyways, I think it could get messy, because even though it can, like, say a couple goes into it with a business mindset, maybe the woman is the one, putting herself out there but hiding her identity, and then it's like a whole thing. But then I think that could even cause future arguments. But either way, I think it depends on the people, depends on the person, to each his own.
So. All right. Anything other?
It's funny you said that.
Gotta get off in 2 minutes. I'm dead ass. Any other random topics? Ooh, Imani, you choking?
I'm 36 now, so I look at things differently, and I look at like happiness is what you make it with somebody. So people got their lives, and people have their past, and if you gotta see where they at, how they learn from it, where their headspace is, are they still have that same mindset, and or are you secure enough to handle dealing with somebody who lives in that, who does that for a living and stuff like that, and and it's like these days, like these women make so much money doing it. They make so much money doing it. These women are dangerous. They're dangerous. They could sit here. They the ones that fuck the shit out of you and then kick you out. That's how it is these days. It wasn't like that before.
Be like that's not.
They savage. And they got the money to back it up too now, because you can't kick her out. She's like, all right, nigga, I got my own shit anyway, motherfucker. So she's like, nigga, you get the fuck out of my house. All right, nigga, it was good. Now look, you got your Uber, your car here. All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's dangerous now. It's dangerous because it's like so many women are dominant now that they want to be submissive, but they want to pick the guy that they want to be submissive to. And it's like, so you're that dominant. You want to feel like, oh, I'm dominant. That motherfucker is going to be submissive to me, And it's like, maybe,
I don't know. I just feel like it's
just like, and then nobody wants to. Is a what?
Go ahead, JT. Go ahead. I was just adding in the midst of your.
No, I didn't hear you. You said it's something. I didn't hear you.
I gotta go.
I was just like, relationships are just a big game right now.
Yes.
Period. You just got to find the right person and pray that they don't try to take advantage of you if you choose to be the submissive, whatever. I don't know. Every man talks about they want to submit a woman, but then they run right over people. So not all men, but a lot of men. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear that.
Okay.
At all.
There's a lot of Cairo. Cairo. No, because Cairo killed the Cairo. You want to pop off? You want to pop off? Me and Monty can wrap this up. Okay, you over here like want to just count into it when you. I knew that's what he was gonna do too.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, you about to laugh anyway.
His feelings hurt.
Yeah.
His feelings hurt.
Anyways.
I'm not even mad because his issues ain't got to do with us. Yeah, so I'm like, let him be. Let him so somber about some shit. It's a woman though, yo. I hope you listen to this too. I hope you watch this. Like, hey man, get out your feelings. Get out your feelings.
I'm not about to play. But no, like I said, this whole dating thing, it's a whole game anyway. So, I mean, to each his own. And I feel like I know something. I feel like the message is always kind of flipped onto Black women. Even when a man messes up, it's like always on the not Black women. It's always on the woman. Like, oh, you should take accountability for this, or or it's his fault that he cheated. Your fault that he cheated. Stuff like that. That's what I don't like.
No, it's never a woman's fault. Why? That's a
You
dumb
don't think
narrow. It's
so?
not
You
no
don't think
woman's
what a
fault for a
narrative
man
says?
cheating. That's just nigga wanting to cheat.
But yeah,
Yeah,
dudes say
because men
I
are
ain't
so
no dudes
good.
say that
Men are
though.
so good at cheating.
Hmm.
Yeah, men are good at serial cheating that they could cheat and then make the woman feel guilty and she end up crying like, I'm sorry, don't leave me. Like, damn, nigga, you cheated on me. Why am I begging you?
know. Look, nobody made you do nothing, sir. That is your body part that you chose to do whatever you want to do with it. Period. Anyways.
And nobody's saying that a woman should take all accountability. It's just, it's like what men talk about. Like, I don't like if a man's sitting there, oh, he's talking about what the woman did wrong. Like, he's talking about his baby mother and stuff. It's like, so you didn't do no part, nigga? You were a saint.
Right.
You were that perfect.
I mean,
and it's like, you gotta,
like,
I look at it the same way. You gotta look at people, how they talk about things. If a woman's telling me about some stuff, she talk about the crazy shit she done, I'm gonna look at her like, okay, she's one that knows she's fucking nuts. And she knows and take accountability. That shows she's has some accountability on it and that she's working on herself as someone that just like, oh, he did, he dogged me, or the guy talking about, man, she wouldn't be there for me when I need her and stuff like that. But they're probably leaving out all the shit that he done. So it's like,
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And there are a lot of men who, and this is for men who haven't quite matured yet, who want you to be their moms. They want you to fully just take full care, not care, and this isn't always in a financial standpoint. It could be just like wanting you to.
You potting today now.
What'd you say? What'd you say, JT?
No, I said you potted today. Keep going.
Oh, but yeah.
No, you good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but they just want like women to come and be their moms. You know what I mean? Not all men. And I think it takes a certain level of maturity for a man to sit and say, you know what? I take accountability for me. I am a king. I own every mistake, every success, everything. I own it. And no woman can make me do anything. You know what I mean? That I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just really wish men would just like take accountability. Let's flip this. Men need to take accountability, which you kind of said, but I don't know. I just hate that the woman is always kind of thrown under the bus when it comes to different things relationship wise, when really the men be getting away with a lot of stuff. I'm just saying, or they think they are. They ain't though.
You remember I said I was like you said my own crazy lifetime. I said Jesus might be a black woman or whatever because you gotta like because you gotta look at it like this. And I always say this: no man won't do what you allow him to do. That's an old saying, but it's true.
Facts. That's facts.
He would not do what you allow him to do, and sometimes.
Yeah. Agreed.
And sometimes you want to give, because as men we are fucking, especially as black men, we're so damaged, so it's like even if we want to love the woman, we don't know how to properly love the woman, and vice versa. Because sometimes she may not properly know how to love, but it's like that's where the compromise is coming in and compromising with the right person. Because compromise is one thing, but it's like there's always like that level of I can try to look at it like I could date all day, but when it comes to like being serious, it's like how you gonna make me better as a person, as a man. And sex, you can always get good sex. You always get some stimulating conversations.
Exactly.
Well, me, I don't get too many stimulating conversations these days, but you in theory you could get stimulating conversations and stuff. And it's like, but what else are you bringing? I look at adversity too.
Yeah.
How you handle adversity?
But you know what, JT? I feel like I'm starting to see, and I know we spoke about social media and all of that. I feel like it's starting to become a thing for people to actually get like married and engaged. Am I tripping? Or maybe it's the pages I follow, but is it me or is everyone trying to get like married and have like families? Is that kind of becoming a thing now? Or is it the stuff I'm watching? Because you know who you follow has a lot to do
I
with
think you just
what
probably follow
you
some
see.
right people.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think you probably by
But I
following some.
mean,
I think you probably following some right people because, like,
yeah.
like on my social media, I have a combination of both. I got because you know had some wild times out here in LA, so sometimes I still got
Yeah.
connections with people from there. So some I see they most toxic, wild shit talking about threesomes and shit like that. And I catch myself,
Yeah.
like
Woo,
like it's like it brings me down. But then I got my other, and then I see like my buddies, my football buddies, or like women who are got like with their husbands and stuff, or brothers with their wives, and they got their families and posted stuff like that. And those are stuff, and those people in my circle right now. Like I always tell you, I always say circle. You just gotta hang yourself around the right people.
Your 5 closest people to you says a lot about who you are and your, ambition and, going after goals. But I wanted to say, since things have opened up, because the area I live in is a lot of like bars and stuff, like right around the corner, literally right around the corner from me. And so I find that I feel like it's about to be a whole lot of, I don't know if thoughting is a good word to use, but it's about to be a whole lot of, activity because people have been kind of quarantined for so long. It's getting hot. So people out here trying to live their best lives and they're free again, so to say. So do you think there's kind of a difference now in the dating realm now that things are open again?
Now more than ever, romance it's becoming social now. Mm-hmm. It's a social thing, and it's like it's taken away from the genuine connections. And I think that's really why there's not that much genuine connections today, because most stuff starts online, and you can never really build a genuine connection online until you meet the person in person. Like I've learned very recently that people find me weird online, but when they meet me in person, they fucking love hanging out with me. I be having them rolling and stuff, and I've got a sense of calm with myself and happiness. I guess they feel it, and it's like, wow, you really fucking, I was like, yeah, I was like, I might be a great writer, but I'm a terrible flirt online. I'm terrible. My wordplay is terrible.
Online stuff too. Lately,
I could own that though. I could.
Yeah,
but you don't have to say too much though. Everybody's gonna come to you. You ain't got to do the reaching out.
Yeah, I don't even do social, especially because I don't do the social media thing. But I wanted to say that's why I'm such a fan of like old fashioned dating, like courting. The man actually being a gentleman, opening doors, complimenting the woman, and then the woman, I do agree that the woman kind of carries the tone in a relationship. Like it's not all on her, but I do think as a woman, as the queen, you're kind of meant to be like kind of keep it a little bit more balanced, you know what I mean? And so I just love that old fashioned, not to the point where it's like the woman is at home barefoot and pregnant, and if that's what she wants to do, that's cool. Me personally, I'm modern in that sense, but when it comes to the dating and
courting, no, you're just saying just like
to that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, JT.
Yeah, courting comes off as lame these days. It is lame to like maybe like you or some other, but it's come off as lame. Even like a woman can ask me courting, but it's like, how do you want to be courted? Do you want me to court you with some flowers these days? Do you even appreciate flowers these days, or do you want me to take you to seafood boil or something? I don't know. What the fuck? What is courting? What is courting?
JT?
Courting is not the same because everything's online. You can't just compliment a woman online. Well, I mean, you can, but it's easy to walk up to a woman in person and like, hey, you look gorgeous and stuff, and your conversation. But then you do it online, it sounds like you spit game. Hey, you look gorgeous in your profile pic. How you doing?
Yeah, because it takes out the fun. It takes out
and you got to build off of pictures.
Yeah, it takes out and that's one thing I don't like about texting. Period. Because that can go into social media because you're essentially texting via DMs. that's what it can take a lot of the context and emotion out of it that you get with in-person interaction. And I think, and I find that the men though who court, they're the ones that are more likely to get a good woman and to actually get married and build from there. The men who are taking that approach. Now, what is courting? When I think of courting, and my family grew up in the South, and so when I think of courting, I just think of the man just being romantic, being gentle, being a good listener, and really just paying attention to the woman's needs and, gently getting to know her and grow with her and allowing her time to kind of let her flower open and blossom. That's how I see courting. And I do feel like it's not as popular now, but the men who do it are typically getting married and finding women that actually appreciate it.
Yeah, because I know a few. Like a lot of like I said, my circle now is a bunch of married men and single dads. Like that's my main circle now. And before I even had a kid, and then all of a sudden I have a kid. Who knows? The wife may come around soon. I don't know, but where I'm at, I'm in a different space. Just a couple years ago, I felt like I needed. Huh?
I said she will.
Come around. But the thing is, I think I needed to be at this space where I feel like a lot of people got to get at before it actually comes, is where you're not tripping about it. It'd be nice. I used to feel like I needed it all the time. Like I gotta have somebody. I gotta have somebody to love me. And but I had that, and I had it one good time to know what it's like to be loved.
I said it comes when you least expect it.
Yeah. Right now, all the love I've been seeking from a woman, I have from my son. The way he looks at me, I'm already in love. I'm like,
beautiful.
That is the best feeling.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm for real. Beautiful. That like.
Oh.
It's you could be at the lowest of low. I've been low. I'm just sitting there like, and then I could just see him. And it's like a whole jolt of energy just comes, and it's just like nothing to worry about. So
yeah, it's that pure. That's that.
Like if I had a woman look at me, like the way my son looked at me, I would have been married right now. If I had that same admiration every time I came through the door, she looked at.
Yeah, just that.
I think that's probably the key for a man to not cheating. Like if I get that much admiration, I'm looking forward to that admiration when I come home. Like I know I can get some head right now, but you should see the way my wife looks at me when I come through that door.
Yeah,
I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that. I want to come. I kind of want to keep that joy that she sees in me. So
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So
that's beautiful.
And I've had to learn because I used to feel bad about being sweet. Yeah. Why are you crying? Oh, stop it!
No,
oh, sensitive ass. No,
I'm listening.
Yeah, you seem a lot closer to getting there than I am, but I ain't tripping though, because I have the love I need right now. So it's like I don't worry about losing people like I used to. I used to be sad if I lost people, and I still do be sad. But then I look at him, I'm like,
so he's
I might lose people.
Time. And you see how God brought him right on time.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Oh,
so I'm just probably gonna have a different background each episode, whatever.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at the cheeks.
Yeah, I gotta get kudos to his. Gotta get kudos to his mama again because she
beautiful too.
Like she went through a lot during that pregnancy, a lot of shit I caused and everything, and she stayed strong and took care and made sure he was healthy. So she gets all the props.
And it's good that you guys are working together for him.
You see, I'm always giving her the props.
Yeah, that's good. It's good y'all are working together for him.
You sure you ain't fucking? I'm like, if we were, what's it to you? But no, get out my face.
People ask you.
Motherfuckers really care though. I'd be like,
Why?
Or make comments when I make posts and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean that's y'all business.
People ignorant. I can't share about it.
And that's different. But yeah, but no. As far as things to watch, I don't have any. Let me think.
Snowfall. That's all I've been on. That's all I got time
Snowfall? Oh, I haven't watched anything. Well, I watched that new superhero movie with Olivia Spencer, but I low-key fell asleep on it. So, but it seems cool, like very PG-13. Other than that, I know Nipsey Hussle. There's a new biography out about him, a book. So that's pretty dope. But it's a book reading wise. So, what else? There's a lot of stuff out actually. But yes, shout out to your baby boy though. Shout out to his mom as well. I'm glad you guys are, being the best you could be for him.
Yes. Shout out to Asher Jemai. Shout out to our Spotify listeners, our YouTube listeners, Apple listeners, Anchor, other platforms and things like that. We want to thank you for tapping in. You can follow us on Instagram, tap in, TAPIN podcast. Cairo had to jump off because he's anal like that, but we love him either way. So you got any shout outs, Miss Clappers?
Hilarious. Shout out to my daddy-o. Shout out to DMX and his loved ones. May his legacy live on. Shout out also to my boo thing, hopefully in the future, and just shout out to everyone being the best you could be. Blessings to you. And thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up right there. Tune in next week. Thank you for tapping into the Authentic Podcast. Intriguing Nerds. We out, baby.
Oh, and my mom too. Peace.
Yes, moms. My family. Love y'all. Got me shooting shout outs now.
Yeah, shout out to family. All right, this.
Yes.
Turned up by the way to the max. We turned up by the way to the max. We turned up, yeah. Turned up by the way to the max. We turned up, yeah. Turned up by the way to the max. We turned up.